Hello and welcome everyone to a new Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era video. In this one, I'm gonna be introducing some tips and tricks for you to pick up on. This is gonna be like frequently asked questions type of thing, and also just like for any new player, starting the game out, or maybe so for some Heroes 3 veterans that would like to apply some Olden Era tricks to their games instead of having to figure them out yourself. So let's get right into it. So, on the first step, I want to show you how to absolutely dominate the map as Grove. Grove doesn't scale as well, so unlike some of the other factions, they don't cheat as, as much army. However, they have something really special. So for this example, we're going to be using Sully that starts off with basic summon avatar. This gets better when you get levels and you get like murmuring and you get like strong connections and everything going. However, this thing works from like the very beginning of the game. So almost every single time you start off your Grove game, you want to grab some hoplets. You want to get 2 Dawn hoplets and the rest as Dust hoplets. Dawn hoplets will really help you while you still don't have enough power. So let me show you what I mean. We have like a bunch of like lethal battles over here right outside of our town, and okay, it's only like impossible now, and we can do them like very easily and for free immediately right at the beginning of the game. So what you will do is you will go into a battle. So with basic murmuring, we only have like 1 focus charge at the beginning of the battle. However, we can use some very clever good abilities. So Bloom is going to be increasing your power for only 1 turn, so we will use some Bloom, okay? That's all that we have focus for, and then the Dawn Hoplets have like a very cool ability. Once a fight, they will be able to give you 1 more focus charge. So we can grab some focus, wait for them to like do their own thing. So then we can use even more Bloom. And then we can use even more Bloom. And now we suddenly have an avatar that is very strong from a very early stage of the game. Earlier than you could otherwise grab this avatar. And it scales up super quickly to the point that you can basically even do very hard tier fights like super early by cheating out this early avatar. It also works very well if you have Thaumaturgy, because with Thaumaturgy you can use like the temporary power for like an offensive cast like Lightning Bolt, Fireball, and then the avatar summoned right after with the Thaumaturgy is going to be no increased cost because the avatar is free. So yeah, this is the way that you're going to be taking your early fights on Grove. So if Sully is available, you always want to pick her because of this interaction, because she has avatar guaranteed at the beginning of the game. And if you don't grab Sully, then instead you want to be grabbing avatar on whenever you find it on the level up instead. And yeah, this avatar is going to be absolutely demolishing things. We also could have used it a little bit earlier, so it would be tanking for us, rather than everything coming to us. But yeah, this avatar is just like cleaning house. But a few levels when you get like murmuring up, you also really want to take strong connection. Strong connection is going to be giving you permanent all stats whenever you use any focus. And by the way, the Dawn Hoplets, which don't use focus to generate focus, also count as using focus. So it gets like super strong, super quick. Dawn Hoplets are the entire point of playing Grove, especially in the early game, and you always want to be using them. And you might not even want to be grabbing your golems at the beginning of the game either, because they just like, the more other stuff you have, the less hoplets you're going to be having. Though, honestly, having like that many Dust hoplets alone doesn't really like make much sense. You only want these slots if you can use Dawn hoplets as well. Yeah, this is what makes Grove as a faction function super well. Yeah, and this is what you want to do in every single Grove game that you're going to be having, abusing the hell out of hoplets. At first I thought Grove was not that strong of a faction because I was upgrading immediately Fawns and I was using Fawn Archers, and that was fine, but it just does not compare to the level of fighting that you can do with hoplets instead. So yeah, abuse it while you can. For tip number 2, I want to showcase like a few hotkeys that if you're not using, then you are missing out. So first of all, you can end your turn with E. That's like a pretty basic one, not really that important. However, when it comes to like interacting with objectives, clicking on every single objective gets like really old really fast, and targeting and like, you know, potential misclicks, it's like, you know, it's not the way to be. So what you want to do is you always want to be clicking space in order to interact with everything around you. In my opinion, that's the way to go. So then, yeah, interacting with space is going to be like just better. I wish there was like hotkeys for tactics control, but whatever, this will do. Then you can also use abilities in combat as well as book with hotkeys as well. So you don't really get that much timer per fight, so being able to like get them done clean and fast is always gonna be like really, really good. Never use these buttons, always use W to wait. So we can like wait through most of our army, you know, reposition, and yeah, we can be waiting on everything. Usually wait, unless you have like Battlecraft and you know exactly what you're doing, waiting is almost always going to be better than defending, mind you. And then you can also use like, you know, like use Heroic Strike and abilities with hotkeys as well. So every single thing on this like skill bar is gonna be used with numbers. So like this is gonna be 1. If I want to activate Find Bolts, it's gonna be 2. Of course, we don't have enough focus, so we cannot do that. And Heroic Strike is gonna be the button to the left of 1. So that is going to be the console button. So here we go. We can just quickly then use space in order to like skip the turns. Heroic Strike with a hotkey, reposition. If we do it this way, then we can do things like really, really fast. And it's like super convenient and super comfy. Whenever you encounter like a mine like this, you can just go to the place where you can reach everything and you can just spam space. And you know, you can be off-hands gaming, picking everything up around you. You know, like we're pathing through, we can... Also, if you hold control, you will be able to see which hexes you can interact with an objective from. Holding Alt is also going to be like a key thing that you should be almost always doing when playing Olden Era. Holding Alt is going to be showing you how many moves you will be using in order to get somewhere and how many steps you will be left over with after you're done. So if I hover here, it will cost me 32 moves to get here, and I will have 42 boom points left over. This will allow you to plan your turns better. It also like highlights all of the map objectives. That is also just amazing. So, you know, if we combine this, we can see that we can like make it over there. We can click space to collect the things around, and we can be like pathing through everything like pretty well. So, you know, instead of like clicking like this, if we know where we're gonna move, we can click you know, like with space in order to interact with everything and then collect as we go. Oh, this would have been a pretty good game, but whatever. We even had the leadership early. So yeah, these are the main hotkeys. B for book is also very important. You know, navigating your cursor to your spellbook always is gonna be like pretty bad. You know, like pretty slow. And this book works, this book hotkey works for both both for map view and the battlefield as well. You always just click B whenever you want to take a look at your spellbook. So yeah, those are the main hotkeys that I use. 1, 2, 3, 4 for abilities, console button for Heroic Strike, and then space in order to interact with map objectives. Honestly, like a real game changer, and it makes me like miss things like way less because of it. Since even if there's like a pile that I can't see somewhere, if I click space, I know that I will interact with it and I will be able to get it. So that's like a pretty important tip as well. Within the next step, I'm going to be showing you a template specific thing. So right now we are playing Kestrel on Sprint. We are in our starting zone, we just grabbed some swordsmen. Day 2, we're just going to like the new zone, okay? So in this new zone, we really want bosses because we specialize in the tier 2 unit, crossbowmen, and we want more of them. You know, our game is going to be based on this zone. We immediately find a boss, which is like really, really cool, but let's say if you didn't. whenever you're going to be walking the road, in sprint zone, there's going to be like an off-road that is going to be like a dirt road. So yeah, we have like a main road and a dirt road. And the dirt road, at the end of the dirt road, you are always going to be guaranteed an army box. And it is always an army box, never XP, never anything else. So if you're ever short on army while playing sprint in your ranked games, you can always rely on the dirt road. Now notably, it is not always correct to do so, however, it is always super reliable, as the dirt will always spawn a box. So, you know, if you're like pretty lost and you don't really like know where to go in order to like find something, in order to like keep you going, then, well, now you know. I can also like showcase it with like the next zone. Actually, the next zone might be an exception, actually. Your biome does not have one of these dirt roads. Your biome is like very clean, small, and with bosses near the road. And, yeah, all of the later zones will be having that. Let's see if we can find, like, the next one. We can just, like, run through here. Honestly, we're kind of dead, but whatever. We have Shadow Blades, so no problem. So, yeah, you see, there's another dirt road, and at the end of the dirt road, we are going to be absolutely guaranteed an army box. This one is gonna be Light Weavers, if I remember correctly, based on where the zone is. So you see, if we go for a boss like this, it might be XP. And in the snow zone, but this one will always guarantee an army box. I wish I could do it, but I unfortunately have bled out too much along the way. Actually, not really, I might be able to win, but whatever. You get the point. The last thing that I will be mentioning in this video is going to be Sigils. So there's like a special slot here in your inventory where you can equip these sigils, okay? And these sigils are very important and very, very cool. However, it's not intuitive on how they work automatically, so I will tell you. So it reads, while worn, grants all unlearned subskills of the following skills: offense, summon avatar, siegecraft, and combat. So in order to activate the sigil, you need to have at least, you have to have the skills that correspond with the sigil. However, the main thing is the fact that you do not have to get the level of unlocking the sub-skills in order to actually have them. So right now, we have our offensive basic, we have unlocked no sub-skills. We equip the sigil that gives all of the combat sub-skills, and now, if we look, we have actually unlocked all of the offense sub-skills. We will be gaining archery, battle march, battle frenzy, shadow blades, reality wardens, and firmness from a basic skill. That means when you find a relic that you want, like maybe, you know, like we have offense here, we have picked up the Holy Sigil of the Second Man. Now, if we get like combat or summon avatar, we're going to be like way more likely to actually want to pick up that skill, because from basic level of skill alone, we're going to be getting like so many cool bonuses. So sigils are very important and super powerful artifacts that you should always watch out for. And whenever you get one, you might also want to play into it quite a bit. So yeah, that's how they work. And that will do in this video. I hope these tips help you on your journey throughout Goldenera. I'll probably do more as I'm gonna be collecting, you know, like things that people ask me and things that I think I should share. So yeah. Give this video a like, catch me live on Twitch as I continue my push for rank 1 over at twitch.tv/lekshav. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye bye!